see you.
Yeah, my screen just froze as well.
It froze. Okay, so it must be froze up there in the network. So let me see what Jessie says about this freeze here. So we're going to keep talking anyway. The studio. Okay, we're going to be going live in 20 seconds. Okay, folks, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, with the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV in Elisabeth, Canada. Tremendous project with global distribution. You can tune in on Roku TV, Android TV, Fire TV, Apple TV, SSH101.com, Jess TV, and jessfm.ca or www.jessfm.ca.
Is it already on air? I'm sorry, because my screen's still frozen.
We're live now. We're live on Jess TV in Elisabeth, Canada. Tremendous project for global distribution. And today on the Marilyn Monroe Show, folks, I've got Valdez Velasco. And I just want to introduce myself a little bit to you folks again. My name is David Monroe. I'm Marilyn Monroe's nephew, actor at Soundtrack. I'm also the son of Jack Stubbs, prolific pioneering Hall of Fame legendary motion picture director. Best of friends with Walt Disney and his sister Ruth. And we are the creators of the Marvel Universe on film, folks. My grandfather is the director that created the very first Captain America ever in the history of the Marvel Universe, giving birth to the Marvel Universe on film. So we are the godfathers of the Marvel Universe. My grandfather also handpicked the dress in the 1955 film, The 7-Year Itch, where my Aunt Marilyn Monroe stands in the white dress on the subway, the delicious freeze, the iconic scene. And so live here on the Marilyn Monroe Show this morning, I've got my special guest, Valdez Velasco. And Valdez, me and Valdez, it's interesting how we met. I was traveling about in Texas a couple of years ago, and I saw him with his camera and microphone out in the street doing some type of a film project. And so I befriended him. I said, he said, yeah, he said he was busy. He said, I'm a television producer down here for Aquí Entre Nosotros, and which means here with us. And so I picked up his number. And later on, a couple of years later go by, and I meet some fabulous Mexican actors and actresses on Facebook. And I saw a couple of the movie posters they were doing. And I asked them, I said, well, who's the director? And so they introduced me to Valdez. And I started talking to Valdez and asked him if he had a cameo role in the film. And he said, yeah, I got a cameo role, Dave. And so I said, can you send over the soundtrack to the teaser so I can listen to the scoring and music and things? And when he sent it to my email, it bounced back. I said, okay, well, how about try my SMS on my telephone number? Maybe we can get it that way. And so he sent it over that way. And I discovered that his phone number had already been programmed in my phone from 2 years prior when I met him out in Texas. Isn't that absolutely fabulous? And so wonderful how the universe works. And so I've got Valdez on the show today, and he's a television producer of Aquí Entre nosotros, which means here with us on the local CW down in Texas, a Spanish-speaking film. We're going to talk about his film, John Bear, Journey to the Underworld, that we're going to participate in. And I want to talk a little bit about that film before I give it to Valdez over here. My grandfather, Jack Stubbs, legendary, prolific pioneer and Hall of Fame legendary director, created the $6 Million Man television show back in the 1970s. For 10 years, that's all you had on TV as an action show. Excuse me, the $6 Million Man. You remember the Bionic Eye. And so my grandfather went out, he had some contacts with Vince McMahon in the WWF. And he went out and cast Andre the Giant in the $6 Million Man in the Bigfoot role. So if you guys remember the $6 Million Man Bigfoot episodes, that was my grandfather's project. And he used Andre the Giant to portray Bigfoot, Sasquatch. And so when I saw Valdez's project, John Bear, Journey to the Underworld, it's about a mythical, legendary creature in Mexico that's also been reported in France and over in Russia. And it's described as a half a human from up top and a bear on the bottom. But it also describes that some of them have hair all over their bodies. So I thought to myself, oh, that sounds like a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot project. And I said, I've always wanted to recreate a Bigfoot project like my grandfather did in the $6 Million Man with Andre the Giant. And so I met Julian 2 years ago. He's doing an Sasquatch type of a project genre. And we're going to create this film. And so I want to introduce Julian to the show. Welcome to the Marilyn Monroe Show. Julian, how are you today?
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to your show. Very interesting. I'm excited, nervous, and everything. But most of all, happy to talk about what we've been doing here in deep down South Texas.
Yeah, that's absolutely fabulous. So now down there, like me, I'm like a talent. I look for talent. I travel all over the country. If I see somebody like I met you with a camera or crew, somebody doing some mariachi, a jazz bar, whether it's like a nightclub, and they got open mic or some type of DJ stuff, karaoke going on, I'll pop in there and I'll meet people and shake hands and meet people. That's how I met you. So that's kind of what you do down there in the Texas area. Is you collaborate with actors and actresses from Mexico City that come over, mariachis and different projects and boxers and all different types of genre of entertainment people, and you bring them over and have them, on your television show, and you showcase all of their projects on your television show. So you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Julian?
Yes. No, thank you. Yes. It's kind of you called it. My TV show. Our platforms to cater to our local talent. We've had musicians, actors, directors, sculptors, clowns, magicians, just about anything that has to do with talent. And I do provide that public service announcements where I have every here and there invite people that are in office, or politicians, and have them, talk to our audience about what's going on here in our counties. So I started with this TV show 6 years ago. Actually, I had it, back in my head that I wanted to do this really bad for years. I grew up here. Our Sundays we would have our families get together, and my dad and my uncle would play music there in our barbecues. And so I kind of grew up, meeting all these musicians here. Our genre down here, our culture is mostly Tejano and Conjunto, which is German introduced the accordion to Texas in the 1800s. And then Mexico has their version of a guitar, which is the bajo sexto 12-string guitar, and they kind of joined forces, and Tejano music and Norteño music and conjunto music was born. So that living here on the border, that's what we kind of grew up with, and it's our culture. And I became an extra for our local filming Mexican cinema here in the Valley, maybe like 10 years ago. And, I started meeting guys at camera guys and stuff like that. And I pitched in the idea about the TV show, and they're like, hey, let's jump into it. So we went out there and talked, to our local CW. And, we went through the process of getting our slot. And before I knew it, I became a TV producer. And here we are 6 years later. And, there's a lot of talent. 6 years, and I'm still meeting new people, and it's amazing. Children, the kids, the youth, how passionate they become, and if their parents don't get involved, there's no way they're gonna tutor their talent. They need to tutor your talent. I mean, you can be born with talent, but if you don't tutor it, you won't get anywhere. So I'm thankful for all those parents, that support their kids, and a lot of them, they're out there already, with recording studios. Some of them are already working in other film productions and stuff like that. So, even though it's a nonprofit, low budget TV show, I think my accomplishments and the way I've, helped my community, I think it's all worth it. And, I plan to continue with it. And this past year, as a matter of fact, you were talking about it. I have started going out of town, out of the Valley. We're so secluded from Texas, like we're in the deep South Texas, right on the border. So I started venturing out to Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston. Not a lot, but a little, and that's where we met the very first time, like you mentioned. And so I'm starting to do that. I'm starting to reach out, to the whole state. Hopefully, I'll get other people on board, reach out to other TV stations out there and stuff like that.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous. And just a quick station identification break. This is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew on the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV, Elisabeth, Canada, tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in www.jessfm.ca or jessfm.ca. And then, so that's the Key Entre Nosotros here with us television show. And then, so I wanted to touch on a little bit of your charity event that you've got going on down there. You have a toy drive for Christmas coming up for underprivileged children to ensure that underprivileged children in the area receive Christmas gifts. And that is a project that's you're putting on with. You have some WBC lightweight fighters down there in Texas that are going to show up and sign autographs and that. Some boxing champions, and then you're going to have some live music down there as well, and a big cookout, and that food and that for the kids and the families down there. And the only requirement, and you do this for free, which is a great deal for a toy drive. The only requirement for admission is for someone to bring an unwrapped gift for an underprivileged child to ensure that the underprivileged children in the area receive a good Christmas gift this year. Do you want to talk about that charity event that you've got going on?
Yes, it's next Sunday, December 15th, and I get a lot of credit, for a lot of the stuff I try to do here for the community, but in reality, it's not just me, it's a team, and I really can't do anything without the volunteers and the people, that help out, to make all these events come to a reality. I've been doing events. I've been doing events for the past 3 years based on Aquí Entre Nosotros. So it's always a free admission to the community. All the performers come out and help. We get vendors and stuff like that. We started doing some battle reenactments based on the Mexican American War, based on the Mexican Revolution and stuff like that. So I have a lot of friends here in our local theaters. So they get in wardrobe, they get the props and everything, and we do those kind of events as well. But yeah, our upcoming toy drive, December 15th. It's the first time I do this, and I teamed up with another film producer, actually, Steve Mendoza from Lion and Tiger Entertainment, and they got the upcoming Echoes of the Border film coming out. Right now, they're doing B-roll in Spain and in the Ukraine. They're doing a bunch of B-roll, but most of the film was filmed here in the valley, here in the Rio Grande Valley. and they brought some people out from Los Angeles, and so it's going to be a pretty interesting film. Well, anyway, so Steve and I have been friends for a lot of years, and we teamed up with our local VFW post 10802 here from Donna, Texas, from our area. So yeah, we're having the public, all they have to do is bring an unwrapped gift, and it'll stay for some food and some entertainment. I'm gonna have some comedians on board, and we're expecting a good turnout. So God willing, the weather and people show up, and hopefully we'll bring a smile, to those unfortunate kids.
Yeah, that's a great deal, man. I believe kids got to have fun, and they deserve gifts if they're underprivileged or poor families struggling with our economy and things like that. To ensure children have a good Christmas gift for Christmas as well. So that's a great deal, man. You got going on down there, and yeah, the VFW, no, great project down there. I used to work for a local VFW out here in California for about 20 years, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that's a great deal. And so I want to talk a little bit more about the film after a quick station identification. This is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada. Tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in to www.jessfm.ca or jessfm.ca. And so, Julian, I want to talk about John Bear, Journey to the Underworld. Now, this film, I got excited about this when I met you. And then when you sent me the soundtrack to my phone and I discovered I'd met you 2 years prior, I go, wow, this is the universe talking. Because when I talked to Julian and got his phone number, he said, we'll meet again. Just when you come back through, give me a call. And here we are again. Okay. And so I've always wanted to do a Sasquatch or a big project or something similar to that type of a genre. And so, my grandfather, Jack Stubbs, created the $6 Million Man with Andre the Giant. And so now Andre the Giant was like 7'4" or something. He was a great big man. And so I asked my grandfather, I said, how did you make that Bigfoot suit for Andre? And he called me honey. He says, well, honey, he says, he said, I didn't have a lot of those cosmetic effects that they do now back then. He says, so what I had to do is I had to have Andre lay down in hot wax. He says, what you didn't like too much, but he did it for me anyway. And so to make that molding for the Bigfoot suit, for the big man. And then, so he made the suit around that molding, and then he added all the hair and things. So that was old school sci-fi practical effects. And then when you film that, you have to have a certain lighting and camera angle in that with which to create this big monster on screen, which Andre was a great guy, big heart, but, he made a big, a very captivating Sasquatch as well. That big man. And wow, there's Andre the Giant, he's Sasquatch, and that was the biggest show on TV for 10 years. That's, like I said, that's all you had was, the $6 Million Man back then. And the Bionic Woman. But my grandfather worked on the Bionic Woman with Lindsay Wagner as well. So my grandfather worked on all those legendary old school sci-fi practical effects shows. So he was like the godfather of, art direction back then, creating those viewpoints and opinions that have been followed by, Hollywood filmmakers for the past 100 years. My grandfather's projects go all the way back to the 1930s, as early as the Charlie Chaplin days. And so, always wanting to do a Bigfoot role, and then bumping into you 2 years ago back on Facebook, and now here we are in Project John Bear Underworld, which is, once again, I want to tell the viewers, this character is a half man, half bear, man from the waist up and bear from the waist down. Which is similar to a Sasquatch and falls right into the genre of my family legacy and what I've always wanted to do, and being a participant in the recreation of a Bigfoot type of a project. So you want to tell the viewers a little bit more about the film that's upcoming. And I'm going to be playing a role. I'm going to be the body guy for Diablo, which is a henchman for John Bear, right?
Yes, correct. Well, John Bear originally is the hero Juan Oso. So it's a folkloric tale. Way it goes way back from Europe. So actually, uh, John Bear is a mythical character that he's a product of a rape. It's kind of dark. So you have this bear come down from the mountain and rapes this princess, and John Bear is born. That's where he gets the name from. But and he goes through a lot of adventures and battles a lot of characters from the underworld. So when the Europeans started settling here in the Americas, they kind of started trading stories with the natives, and it turns out that the native had their own version of John Bear, which is I don't know what the chances are, but it's something incredible that actually a lot of our ancestors here in the Americas had already that version of John Bear or Juan also. So, my friends there from Aquí Entre Nosotros, we were just talking about the tales and that, this and there, and which is, I gotta give credit to them, Victor Castillo, Aurelio Romo, and Albert Barrera. He's my screenplay writer, my screenwriter, and he's gotten some recognitions for his writing, for his scripts and stuff like that. So, again, I couldn't do this without them. So we were just there fooling around, and I'm just throwing it out there. Hey, well, maybe it sounds like a film. Maybe we could do a film based on that. So two weeks later, Albert comes like, hey, well, I think I got a script. Uh, but we had, due to budgets and stuff like that, we had to kind of make it into a modern story. But it's very similar. It's very similar. So we have a character of a grizzly man Rainer, which kidnaps this lady walking through a trail, walking on a trail there in the woods. So he kidnaps her, rapes her. John Bear is born. So John Bear is going to school. I'm making this as quick as possible. So John Bear, he's going to grade school and he's getting bullied because he's not an attractive kid. He's ugly. He looks kind of like his dad. That's why he got the name John Bear because of Grizzly Man Bear. So, anyways, so John Bear is growing up and he starts possessing strength. Not human like. 30 years pass by. Well, at the age of 12, I'm sorry, at the age of 12, John Bear gets tired of his dad beating up his mom. He abuses her, he starves them and everything. So what John Bear does as he's 12 years old, he carves this club out of a tree stump and he just clubs to death his dad. So he goes into exile because of that. 30 years later, John Bear finds out his best friend from grade school was kidnapped. So that's where the story kind of, escalates to where John Bear starts showing his strength. He's fighting all these people from the underworld, and the boss of the underworld is Diablo. So that's where your role comes in. You're gonna have the role of Toro or a bull. And it fits your profile. I mean, you exercise, you're big. So it fits your profile. So you're gonna be there. Acting next to a Toro and next to a Diablo. So Diablo's character is played by Wes Gillum. Wes Gillum is he's been doing a lot of films here in the United States. So he's a pretty good actor. We're gonna have this other guy come over also, Nathan Kirby. Nathan Kirby is he's moving up there, in acting. He's doing his thing. He comes out in that Paramount series Lioness with Morgan Freeman, Nicole Kidman, Zoe Saldana. So and he's been around other productions. So you're gonna be you're gonna be here on set, with all these kind of local talents and those talents that are moving up there in local filming like Yellowstone and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's a great deal, man. Real quick, station identifications: David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, the Marilyn Monroe Show, Jess TV, in Lethbridge, Canada, tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in every Sunday morning to the morning show, the Marilyn Monroe Show, with your host David Peace Monroe on Jess TV. That's www.jessfm.ca or jessfm.ca. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the personalities and some of the other actors that I know that are going to be in the production. in particular Tiger Rios. Hey, way, mi amigo. I want to shout out to Tiger Rios out there. I know he's watching. And then I'm a paranormal investigator as well. So we have our moonchild, Sarah Garcia, in Texas. She does paranormal. I want to shout out to Sarah, our moon girl. Yeah, with the Moon Girl show, which is absolutely fabulous. And then we have Manny Coffins, your buddy Manny over there. He's probably watching. We want to shout out to Manny if he's watching over there. And I just want to talk about the characters of some of those other actors and actresses that are going to be in the production that I know from Facebook and are going to be full participants in the project. Talk a little bit about those guys. Sarah, Manny, and Tiger Rio. Say, "Way mi amigo."
Yes, I've known Tigre Rios for years now. Actually, probably more than 8 years maybe. He's also been part of our local filming, so he's really active. He's a really good guy, and I have him on board almost everything that I've been doing. And Sarah Garcia, yes, Moon Girl, yes, she's a very good friend. I've known her for a few years, and actually, I was thinking maybe that's how we connected through Sarah. Um, I don't know, but yeah, she's on board. She's been on my TV show, and we've been on set of other film productions. Manny Coffins, he's new to the filming industry, but he's always been a writer. So he's got some stuff there, some novels, some short novels there, already on the market. He likes that dark side of the stories, death and all those kind of crazy characters. So he's down. He's got his character here with us on John Bear. We have a lot of local talents. Or Emma, the character Emma is going to be which is the girl Diablo kidnaps. She's Magali de la Rosa. She's I met her years ago on set, and she was one of my first guests on Aquí Entre Nosotros. And so right now she's doing pretty well, and she's a performer, she's a singer, so she's doing pretty well on the Tejano recording side, So she's been invited to the Tejano awards, Grammys, and stuff like that. So she's gonna be on board. Oh man, it's just unbelievable the lineup actors. Most of them are all experienced in theater. That's how I met most of them. So we have John Bear. Actually, I was gonna be playing John Bear, but and I don't know how good of a character, role I would have done. But I met this. I have this other friend, Elias Hernandez. Elias Hernandez, he's fits more the profile for the character. I feel he's more talented than me. So I just, for the better, I want my production to, where I'm giving it 100%. I don't know what the end product's going to be, but I'm getting 100%, and I just stepped down of that role and gave it to Elias. I offered it to him and he accepted it. So Elias, he's a very good actor. He has he's working on this production of his own called Varluv. Varluv is about a werewolf. So maybe like 5 years ago, he made a little short about Varluv, about the werewolf, and somebody took his content from YouTube and started using it, monitoring off of it, claiming that it was a dogman sighting. So I don't know if y'all recall seeing that somewhere in social media about actual dogman, this and that. Well, that was him. So I'm helping him out on his production as well. But yeah, those are the kind of actors we're gonna have on board. Another one is Kevin Williams. These guys that I mentioned, Nathan Kirby, Kevin Williams, Wes Gillum, they're all from North Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, all those states. They work a lot in Western films. So, they have a lot of experience under their belt. And I think it's going to give the production, that professionalism, that, special touch with the acting.
Yeah, that's great. I was just yesterday out here in Menifee, California, at the Wooden Nickel Ranch with Councilman Tom Furman, and he's a cowboy. He wears one of those big, white 10-gallon hats. Smokes cigars and things. Real cowboy. They've filmed of dozens, if not hundreds of westerns at the Wooden Nickel Ranch in Menifee, California. So I was just down there, looking at, film sets and things. He has old Western towns and things set up at the Wooden Nickel Ranch that are perfect. It's got the saloon and got, the old hardware stores and supply stores and all that set up perfectly for a Western set. So, yeah, I dabble with guys like that, that have those different sets and things where, it doesn't cost a lot of money for production to go out there and rent from those guys out there. They're very nice people and they help people and they do a lot of Western projects out there. So, yeah, a Western movie would be a great idea in the future. And so, collaborating with you on this film and your production, once um, I guess you plan on in a couple of weeks shooting a trailer teaser down, or within the next couple of weeks or month or so, you're going to do a teaser so that you can create a pitch deck from that teaser and then have an offering for people, investors, and distributors and networks and things, and also a preview of the film that you're creating. So, putting that production together, I'm excited, I'm pumped, and I'm going to be there, be down there with all the rest of the cast and crew down there with a full participant in that project in the trailer teaser. You want to tell us a little bit more about your projected dates for the trailer teaser and what that's going to contain and what audiences should expect from that, and the entertainment community, film festivals and things, and screenings and things that you could enter those in. There's all different types of avenues and possibilities with which to market your project, film project in the motion picture industry. Everything from film festivals to film screenings to there's all kinds of stuff that you can enter your film in. And so I wanted you to talk and elaborate down in Texas on the local film festivals down there, and the local entertainment community, the local media down there, and how you intend to, market the project once the trailer teaser's done and, you have pitch deck ready. How are we going to get this up and get some funding for it?
Yes, yes. So okay, so going back to the, we started filming back in July. Our first scenes for John Bear, and I had this actor come from Mexico City, a friend of mine. So I had him come down here from Mexico City. Fernando Banda. Fernando Banda. He comes out on Telemundo in Mexico, or here in the States too, on a series called El Señor de los Cielos. So Fernando Banda has a character there. It's been going on, I think, like for 7 or 8 seasons. So he's kind of, well known in Mexico and here in the United States for his role. And I think he's had some. I forgot the name of the films, but I think he also comes out on some films on Netflix. So I had him over, and and I thought with having him over, and actually he actually plays the character of Grizzly Man Raynor, John Bear's father. So so we had him out here. He did his scenes, and it attracted some attention, but not as what I expected. So it kind of set the production a little behind, because like I mentioned, it's a low budget film. But all these people I have involved, they're very professional, they're experienced. Before I forget, David Angel Casares, he's my cinematographer. He does very, very good work, very cinematic. So I chose him, to film this production for me, and the editing and all that stuff. So anyway, so I kind of put Aquí Entre Nosotros to a halt, so I could figure out how to bring to life John Bear. So that's where the this teaser we're filming in a couple weeks comes in. So I decided, a friend of mine, Roland Sepulveda, or his performer name is RS3. He composed the song "Journey to the Underworld." So we're gonna use that song and we're gonna turn it into a music video and / teaser. So I'm gonna have all these actors come over and be part of the teaser, and hopefully with that I could pitch it into some to some investors and sponsors, and hopefully, get some help, finishing this production. Hopefully before March, late April, I wanna wrap it up because I have other productions in mind I want to do, and we'll move on with Aquí Entre Nosotros. I wanna Aquí Entre Nosotros. I wanna expand it, and go more out of town, meet local talent, not just here in our valley. So
Right.
for right now, we just want to get this teaser done. Uh, Start promoting, promoting everything that we can. Hopefully, get some people on board, to help us financially, and like I said before, I'm positive, the production is gonna, come out as we're planning. Regarding as film festivals, I'm not sure if I'll pitch it here into our South Texas film festivals. For personal reasons, I feel that they kind of politicize the way they operate regarding judging and all that, and that's the way I feel about them. We have a South Texas Film Festivals here, and we have Cine Sol as well here in the valley, here in the Rio Grande Valley. And I'm not 100% if I'll pitch, our film to those festivals, but we'll definitely, pitch them all over the world. Hopefully we get some sort of recognition and move on from there. And but at the end of the day, I just want to feel where my work's gonna fall with all the other producers here in the valley. Um, so I'm not really competing, but I just want to know, if I have what it takes, to become a producer, and like I mentioned, I have other productions in mind that I'm already moving on. So hopefully, things will come, as we're hoping, as we're planning.
Yeah, just a quick station identification break. This is David Monroe, the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV, Elisabeth, Canada, tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. The morning show, the Marilyn Monroe Show, with your host, David Peach Monroe. That's jessfm.ca or www.jessfm.ca. Now, speaking about pitching film projects, I'm very involved with a fabulous, very talented, and very kind woman here out in Los Angeles. Her name is Samira Kazmenzi. Samira Kazmenzi holds and is the host of the Oscars Luxury Gala viewing that will be on March 2nd, 2025 at 555 Universal out here in Hollywood. And so you can pick up a ticket for $350 to this, and anybody can come in and showcase your projects. This is where all of the people who don't go to the Oscars, that are the under Oscars, all of the other directors, producers, fashion models, music producers, all different type of genre of people in the entertainment industry. It's an open door or gateway into the entertainment industry. And so, what I could arrange with Samira, who's a close personal friend of mine, and I'm a big supporter of her, and I support her project in the Oscars Luxury Gala viewing, and I promote that project, is we could actually get a booth. So you got the Oscars on the gala event on the inside on the red carpet, the big fancy tables with sit down dinner with an entertainment stage, and then you'll have a live band. You'll view the Oscars net up there. All the other entertainers are in the room now. But out in the hallway, they have like food vendors and natural remedy people and anybody who's showcasing their project, their entertainment project, or product or food vendor or whatever it is. They have full bars, catering, and all that on the inside. So what there's an option of what we can do there at the Oscars Gala viewing is we could set up a stand. I can get us a booth, and we can put and showcase my projects, showcase your projects, put them together in a booth. So when all the other entertainers, directors, producers, I'm talking about people from all over the world who have, collaborated with every big motion picture project here in Hollywood. You're sitting there watching the Oscars. And so all of these fabulous people come in and they would pass by our booth and see our project. We could print up flyers, cards, pass them out, shake everybody's hand. and tell them about our projects. And that's a great way to pitch an entertainment project. And that's only once a year that happens. So that is a tremendous networking project that Samira offers to anyone in the entertainment community to collaborate, make your dreams come true, and get funding. You've got entrepreneurs, you've got investors, you've got filmmakers, actors, actresses, fashion models, entertainers coming out of your ears and up to your eyeballs and alligators over there, which is a great deal. You've got all the main media there, you've got all the publicists in there, cameras, lights, camera, action, microphones. Everyone's getting interviewed on the red carpet about their projects and things. And so I'm working on becoming the best TV presenter of 2025 when that event comes. I'm going to be working on that with this show to get that award at Samira's event. So hopefully that'll happen for me, and we can set up a booth there and showcase our projects up there. So, there's a bunch of different facilitation processes of how to showcase your projects, like at film festivals. I'll give you one example. Diesel, when he was a nobody, he created a poorly shot project, a shabby project of himself. But nevertheless, it was a completed project. So he burned a bunch of those on CDs, and he went into film festivals, or DVDs rather. He went into film festivals with these burnt DVDs of his entertainment project of himself, and entered the film festivals, win, lose, or draw. And not knowing who Steven Spielberg was at the time, because Vin Diesel was a nobody, he entered one of these film festivals, and Steven Spielberg was in the room, and he dropped one of those completed projects in Steven Spielberg's hand. And Steven Spielberg being a busy guy, he gets millions of requests and things, but it was a completed project, so Steven could go home. A couple of weeks later, he took a good look at it, popped it in, DVD player, and looked at Vin Diesel, and he says, "Well," he said, "look at that guy, I like him." And now look at Vin Diesel. So there's different ways to facilitate, get funding, and get people to look at your project. And I think us as television producers, you as a television producer, me as a television producer, the people in the cast and crew that you're talking about, they have their own television shows. They work with Kevin Costner and Yellowstone and that. By the way, Kevin Costner is like my uncle. And I'll tell you how that is possible, because my grandfather and grandmother were best friends with Tippi Hedren. Tippi Hedren was the actress from The Birds with Alfred Hitchcock. My grandfather helped to build and design the lion cages and compounds at the Roar Foundation, or the Shambhala Wildlife Preserve up in Acton, California, for the actress Tippi Hedren, which is Melanie Griffith's mother. Melanie Griffith was married to Kevin Costner. So you see, that's like my extended family in the motion picture industry. And so, you've got actors and actresses that, collaborate with Costner, Morgan Freeman, and those guys, those different projects that are going to be in there. So that's fabulous. We can get this up, we can pass it around, shop it around to your people in their networks, my people in my networks, and go down to Samira's 2025 Luxury Gala event. We can set up a booth, enter film festivals. So there's a whole bunch of different goals and facilitation processes to get the funding for the film. And I think that's absolutely great. And again, a quick station identification break. This is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew at the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV Live, Lethbridge, Canada, tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. the morning show, Marilyn Monroe Show, with your host, David Peace Monroe, at jessfm.ca and www.jessfm.ca. And so you have that film, and I have a whole bunch of films upcoming and that are under contract to be made. I have 6 Marilyn Monroe genre films. So after we, collaborate on this, then we could possibly talk about collaborating some of my upcoming projects and some more of your upcoming projects together as a team, to help build each other and make our millions in the motion picture industry.
No, yeah.
Talk a little bit about your upcoming projects.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward. I'm very excited. I'm very excited and blessed, to have all these people backing me up. Again, I can't wait for you to come and visit us, and work on your character. And I mean that things you were talking about, setting up booths at the Oscars and all that. I mean, it's one thing that I'm kind of learning, that if you put your mindset where it's supposed to be. I mean, sky's the limit. Everything's possible, and obviously, we love what we do. We love what we do, and at first, for me, this was just a hobby, but now it's just a way of life. My bread and butter, is plumbing. That's what I do. I'm just a plumber. But I have my own company, my own business. I have a small event center that I rent out every once in a while. But all that now, it's just on the side. Now and I'm blessed to have for my family to support me, because I miss out. I'm getting some extra income due to my hobby now, way of life, which is producing. Having the TV show, catering to all these people, and now being in the red with John Baer. But again, I'm positive the results are going to be there, and again, I'm grateful for you for inviting me, on all these projects, mentioning all the things that are going on, and hopefully, in the future, I'm sure we're gonna work something on some good things, coming, and again, I'm here. I'm here. I'm available. I'm very flexible. I'm grateful everybody tuning in and watching the Marilyn Monroe show. Very interesting. You, David, you're a very interesting person. You're very humble. I appreciate your friendship. But what else can I say, man? I mean, I'm just excited, to be here with you today. All these people, hopefully, your audience, will consider following my productions. They can find me as Valdez Velasco on Facebook. That's all I have right now on social media. I have Instagram also as Julian Valdez or Valdez Velasco, but I'm not really that active on it. But I'd appreciate your audience, your followers, trying to support me a little, and supporting you, that now that you're going to be on board of John Baer, and also for recommending me, the music industry side of you. You're very well connected, very well known with big names up there. So hopefully we could work together on something that with that as well, not just on filming. But yeah, man. So that's me. That's Julian Valdez. Uh, I'm a local government activist, TV producer, event promoter, and now for the first time, a film producer. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, and so you were also or was it your dad that was a border patrol officer down there in Texas? Did I see that your dad or somebody was a border patrol agent down there?
No. My dad was actually he's been a master plumber all his life, like for 50 years now. No, I do have relatives that serve in the border patrol sectors here. I have a brother that works for U.S. Customs out there in California. Actually, he lives there in close to Calexico, Mexicali border. I think it's called Imperial.
Yeah,
Uh,
Imperial Valley. Yeah.
yeah, he lives out there, and he's been a supervisor there for border patrol, for U.S. Customs supervisor and a trainer now for I don't know how many years. But yeah, so he's I don't know, probably that's who you're thinking of. But yeah, I think that would be my brother, serving right now with Homeland Security.
Yeah, it's a great deal. I've got law enforcement in my family as well. My uncle Lonnie Fishback was actually a homicide detective here in Glendale, California, in my hometown for about 40 years. So law enforcement runs in my family. I also work for the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 530 in Jacksonville, Florida, marketing their charitable events down there, raising money for a Christmas dinner for handicapped kids they have down there every year. So I've always been involved in promoting law enforcement, police, all of their charitable projects and things. So I think that's great to
No,
stand up people
actually,
involved in our production.
yeah, actually, my that other production, I'm already working on the script. It's gonna be kind of based on true events. My grandfather, which is on my mom's side of the family, my mom's dad. Um, he actually, back in the 40s, He used to work there in Mexico City he was a detective for the Mexican Secret Service. So he worked on a lot of big cases back in the days. And actually, he worked on a case where they captured this serial killer called Gregorio or El Goyo. It's in history. So my grandfather, he was part of that investigation, and leading to the arrest of that guy, and a lot of other infamous cases around during that era there in Mexico that he was involved in. So my production after John Bear is going to be that, it's going to be based under my grandfather's work as a detective in the 40s with the Mexican Secret Service, and on that based on that serial killer as well. So we're working on the script right now. I've already talked to other well-known actors in Mexico City that are willing to be part of the cast. So that's another project I have in mind. And I appreciate law enforcement, like you said. I have many relatives and friends that risk their lives every day to help the community, to protect our country, and veterans as well. I have a lot of friends that served in Afghanistan and Iraq. My dad's friends that have served in Vietnam, and a lot of them are not with us anymore. My dad's uncle, actually, Lorenzo Valdez, he served during World War II, and he came back home to the States with frostbite. He was there in Germany, and he was there, I guess, fighting the Nazis over there, during that era. So I'm very here at home. We're very patriotic. We appreciate all those men in uniform and women willing to sacrifice their lives for us. Be there out there every day and doing what they have to do.
Yeah, they don't pay our cops enough money out there. My administrator, uh, Louise Gosling, she lives out in Virginia. She was a night beat cop in some of the worst areas of Washington D.C. A night beat cop, and she's a mixed martial artist like me. She told me, she said, Dave, she said, in over 20 years of service, I only had to use my nightstick, I think, 3 times, and my pepper spray twice.
Wow.
So she would put hands on you. She's tough, and that's why she's my administrator. And so she watches my Facebook and my shows like a hawk and makes sure everything is conducted correctly, and there's no one interfering with my contacts and my projects that are crooked promoters or some type of unscrupulous business activity. So, I've got policemen, and police women who are my administrators who watch my show like a hawk. So it's absolutely fabulous. I just love having law enforcement involved, and veterans involved. Those are big with me. I work for the VFW, Military Order of the Purple Heart, American Legion, and other charitable projects, as well as the Fraternal Order of Police and many firefighter unions as well. So I believe our first responders and our veterans come first because they're the ones putting their lives on the line every day. And having those type of people involved in the production is just absolutely fabulous. Bringing those people to the big screen as well. So we have a tremendous amount of projects on the horizon in the near rosy future. We have the grandiose project and trailer teaser coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be shot here with Valdez down Texas in John Bear Journey to the Underworld. Yeah. El Sasquatch type of project. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. I want you to go in with some closing remarks you may have. Where do people find you? You say you just have a Facebook at the moment. What is the Aquí Entre Nosotros television station exactly? What is that network? How do people tune in on that? How do they find you on Facebook? And want to tell our viewers a little bit more about exactly where they can find you, Valdez.
Yes, like I mentioned, for right now I have the Facebook of Valdez Velasco, where I kind of post just about everything, day to day operations, barbecues, my drinking binges and stuff like that. But we're actually I'm already programming to have what do you call it, an official John Bear page for social media, where you could follow up on behind the scenes stuff, or hopefully, look at our music video or teasers and all that stuff, interviews with some of the cast and the crew and stuff like that. And I do have a YouTube channel. I totally forgot about that, for Aquí Entre Nosotros. So basically, you just go on YouTube, Aquí Entre Nosotros, Julián Valdez, and the logo Aquí Entre Nosotros will pop up. And we have a bunch of episodes, and stuff like that we've been doing for the TV show. And again, it's mostly Spanish speaking, but we've had a lot of English speaking characters, people there on the show. So everybody's welcome to tune in. You get a feel of what our community here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas looks like. And I'm very humbled, like I said, to meet a bunch of talented people, kids, just about anything, you name it. I think I've had it there on the show. So yeah, everybody's welcome. Everybody's invited to check it out on YouTube, Aquí Entre Nosotros, Julián Valdez, and you'll get an idea what our community is about.
I was out here in Silmar, California, at a Denny's parking lot one time, and there were a bunch of these Mexican American fellows out in the parking lot in a van, and they all had on these colored shirts. And so I looked at them. I said, are you guys like the Mexican football national team? And they just looked at me and smiled. And there was about a dozen of them standing there. And all in unison, they all turned around and pointed their finger at me. He says, no, we're not football. We're Banda Prima. I said, Banda Prima. They say, hey, Banda Prima. I say, hey, way, mi amigo. Banda Prima. How you doing? So they had me sit down. We had some ceviche, and they had, I don't drink beer or alcohol anymore, but they had a couple of, back then I did. They had a couple of Coronas, Tecate out there. Those guys were great, man. I just sat down right in the parking lot. They invited me. I felt right at home, Had a big, plate of their homemade ceviche, cold out of their cooler. And it was absolutely fabulous. So I want to thank you for coming on, Valdez, to the Marilyn Monroe Show. And next week, folks, I want you to tune in to the Marilyn Monroe Show on Sunday. I've got the fabulous stuntman, choreographer, martial arts legend, Silvio Simac is coming to the show. Silvio Simac was in projects with Jason Statham. Jason Statham from the Expendables. We've got Silvio Simac upcoming. And his movie that we're going to be showcasing, Angels Fallen, Warriors of Peace, is the #1 film on Amazon Prime right now, and it's in the top 10 films in the United States market. Valdez, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Everybody for tuning in, and we've got John Bear Journey to the Underworld upcoming project. Thanks again, folks, and tune in next week to the Marilyn Monroe Show for my fabulous stuntman and martial arts choreographer, the world-famous Silvio Simac. Once again, his film, Angels Fallen, Warriors of Peace, is the #1 film on Amazon Prime right now. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you
Have a good Sunday. Take care.
All right, thank you.
I think that's it.